I would say it's about participation levels at this point. People seem to be no longer persuadable, and it's just a question of who ends up showing up at the polls. The big wild card is the Arabs. If the Arabs vote at the same level as the Jews, the right wing has almost no prayer. Yeah. If they go down to 40% participation level, Netanyahu will probably win the election.
Of course, there is a deal here. There is a deal between the right wing, the extreme right wing, and this candidate that is today is under a continual trial, and he has his own interest. They have their own interest, and they want to meet in the middle.
Guys, clearly Netanyahu is a big factor in the election, and it's no surprise that they want to cancel specific things he's indicted for. But I think talking about Netanyahu in this context of the judicial reform trivializes something very important. We're talking here about pretty much a global maneuver by the global populist right to move against liberal democracy. They're talking about passing an override clause that would enable the parliament, by a simple majority, to cancel decisions of the Supreme Court. That is the end of judicial oversight. That is a dictatorship of the majority. That will take Israel many steps in the direction of fake democracies like Hungary, Poland, some others. Turkey.
And they are using the fact that Netanyahu is under indictment and is in trial because they know that today is much weaker and he will be ready to give them much more in order for him to get out of his troubles.
Or maybe they truly believe this is the right thing to do.
I'm seeing disagreements here.
Yeah, I completely disagree. You're saying that the will of the people is not democratic and not liberal democracy. I just want to remind you that this
dictatorship of the majority.
Yeah, but I don't want the dictatorship of the minority. There's a camp that says democracy is the will of the people, and there's a camp that says, I know what are the proper values, and I'm going to...
Democracy is not the will of the people. Democracy is to defend the rights of minorities. Democracy is freedom of speech.
Thank you so much. This is a disagreement. I'm not against
go back to Europe and see who won an election, and that's over. Democracy was over.
Israel's basic
there are so many examples
are a version of a constitution at the end of the day. That's what Israel has for a constitution. And constitutions the world over protect the minority. A majority of 51% can't decide to disenfranchise the 49%. 100%. That would be that would be a democratic decision that would be counter to democracy.
Dan Perry, can January 6th happen here in Jerusalem?
I don't know about an invasion of the Knesset by people dressed in strange costumes, but I certainly certainly imagine I can imagine a scenario where Netanyahu takes his cue from Donald Trump in 2020 and questions the legitimacy of the elections. I mean, clearly he's desperate enough where I'm not sure there are any limits left, and that worked rather well in the U.S., surprisingly well. I mean, it didn't overturn the election results, but a third of the people still believe Biden didn't win. Is Netanyahu above pursuing such a tactic? I don't know, and I'm not at all sure he's not.
It's coming from the left, not from the right, to say we will not accept the results of the election. You cannot have...
What they mean is that they'll be very, very upset.
And on that note, 9 days left, more of the same, but we will have to accept the results, whatever they may be, very soon, and figure out how to solve this jigsaw puzzle. Dan Perry, Yariv Oppenheimer, Ran Bar Yoshafat, thank you so very much for your time.